Have you ever wondered how media bias can shape our perceptions and beliefs? In the realm of information dissemination, media holds the scepter. It's a powerful tool that can sculpt our understanding of events, spotlight certain individuals, and even sway political landscapes. This power, however, can sometimes be wielded with bias, tilting the scale of public opinion in favor of a particular narrative, often subtly, other times not so much. So, what is media bias? It's essentially a deviation from neutrality in the media, where information is presented in a partial or prejudiced manner. This bias can be reflected in the choice of stories covered, the perspectives highlighted, or even in the words used to describe events and individuals. But why is this important? Because media bias has the capacity to shape our worldview. When we rely on media outlets for our daily dose of news, we're entrusting them with the task of painting an accurate picture of the world around us. But if that picture is skewed, so too is our understanding of reality. This influence can be particularly potent in the realm of politics. Political narratives are often complex, involving multiple viewpoints and intricate details. Media, through its lens of bias, can simplify these narratives, picking and choosing what to present. This can lead to a distorted representation of political figures and events, impacting how the public perceives them. The danger lies not in the existence of media bias, for no human endeavor is entirely devoid of bias, but in our unawareness of it. When we consume media content without questioning its objectivity, we risk being led astray by skewed narratives. So how can we navigate this landscape of biased reporting? The answer lies in awareness and media literacy. By understanding the existence of media bias and its impact, we can become more discerning consumers of news, able to sift through the noise to find the nuggets of truth. Understanding media bias is the first step towards discerning truth from falsehood. As we delve deeper into this topic, we'll explore specific instances of media bias and its impact on our perceptions. Stay tuned. A classic example of media bias is the coverage of former President Donald Trump. The narrative painted by the media often differed from the facts on the ground, creating a chasm between perception and reality. Let's explore a few instances where media reports about Trump were inconsistent with verified facts. First, let's consider the economy. The narrative propagated by a significant section of the media was that Trump's economic policies were disastrous. However, data showed that prior to the pandemic, the US economy was indeed booming, with unemployment reaching a 50-year low. The stock market was soaring, and wage growth was accelerating, particularly for low-income workers. Yet these facts were frequently obscured or downplayed. Next, let's discuss immigration. Trump's policies were painted as unreasonably harsh and ineffective. However, comprehensive reports from the Department of Homeland Security indicated that illegal border crossings decreased significantly during his tenure, suggesting that his policies did in fact have an impact. But this side of the story was often relegated to the back pages, if it was reported at all. Finally, let's talk about foreign relations. Trump's approach was unconventional and, yes, sometimes controversial. However, his administration did make strides in certain areas, such as initiating peace talks with North Korea and brokering agreements between Israel and several Arab nations. These accomplishments were often downplayed or dismissed as mere theatrics by numerous media outlets, despite their potential long-term impacts. Throughout his tenure, Trump faced a barrage of negative coverage, much of which was inconsistent with the facts. It's important to note that this isn't about defending Trump or his policies, rather, it's about holding the media accountable for accurate reporting. These examples illustrate how media bias can distort the truth. The media's role is to inform the public, but when bias creeps in, it can undermine that very function. It's crucial that we recognize this and strive for a media landscape that values accuracy over narrative. So what is the impact when media bias leads to false narratives? Picture this. You're in a room full of people, all of whom are looking at the same painting. Yet each person sees something different, perceives a different reality. That's the power of perspective. But when perspective is influenced by bias, intentionally or unintentionally, the picture can become distorted. And this distortion is no small matter. It has a ripple effect. It's like tossing a pebble into a pond. The initial splash seems minor, but the ripples spread far and wide, touching every corner of the pond. False narratives resulting from media bias are just like that pebble. The misinformation they generate is the initial splash, and the impact it has on society is the ripple effect. The first ripple is polarization. When people are fed false narratives, they form opinions based on distorted truths. This leads to divisions as people with differing views find it increasingly difficult to find common ground. It's akin to building walls where there should be bridges, creating a society divided by misinformation. The second ripple is the erosion of trust in institutions. When the media, which is supposed to be a reliable source of information, continues to propagate false narratives, it sows seeds of doubt in the minds of the public. This can lead to a breakdown of trust in not just media institutions, but also in other societal and governmental institutions that are closely intertwined with the media. And the third ripple, that's conflict. False narratives can fan the flames of existing conflicts or even ignite new ones. They can create an environment of suspicion and animosity where people are quick to point fingers and slow to seek understanding. The spread of false narratives through media bias can have far-reaching effects on our society. It's a ripple effect that can reach every corner, touch every person. It's a distortion of the painting that we all look at but see differently. And that's why it's crucial to understand and challenge media bias for the sake of a fair, balanced, and accurate perception of reality. How can we combat media bias and false narratives? In this era of information overload, media literacy has never been more crucial. It's our compass, our North Star, in navigating the vast ocean of information that we're bombarded with daily. But what exactly is media literacy? It's the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, and create media in a variety of forms. It's about understanding the role media plays in our society and the world at large. Now, why is it important? Because it empowers us to be critical thinkers and active citizens. It equips us with the tools to discern fact from fiction, to sift through bias and discover the truth. In an age where fake news and alternative facts have seeped into our everyday vocabulary, media literacy is our shield, our protector from manipulation and deception. So, how can we hone our media literacy skills? First, diversify your news sources. Don't rely on a single outlet for all your news. Different sources offer different perspectives, and by comparing these, you can form a more rounded view. Second, question the credibility of the source. Who is providing the information? What are their credentials? What is their track record for accuracy? Remember, not all sources are created equal. Third, consider the context of the information. What's the bigger picture? How does this piece of information fit into the wider narrative? Is it consistent with other reliable sources? Finally, be aware of your own biases. We all have them. They shape our thoughts, our perceptions, our understanding of the world. But by acknowledging them, we can prevent them from clouding our judgment. Being media literate isn't just about being a smarter news consumer, it's about being a responsible citizen, an informed voter, a discerning member of society. It's about taking control of the information that shapes our world and our place in it. Media literacy is our best defense against media bias and false narratives. In conclusion, it's important to remember that media bias is not a new phenomenon. It's been a constant companion in the journey of journalism, shaping perceptions and influencing opinions. In this exploration, we've delved into the bias against Donald Trump, a bias that often contradicted verified facts and created a distorted image of his presidency. We've seen how this bias can lead to the spread of false narratives, creating a ripple effect that impacts not just individuals but society at large. These narratives, spun by media bias, have the power to sway public sentiment and influence political landscapes. Yet, amidst the chaos of misinformation, there's a beacon of hope: media literacy. It's our compass in the turbulent sea of bias, guiding us towards truth. By understanding the mechanisms of bias, by questioning narratives, and by seeking out multiple perspectives, we can make informed decisions and not be swayed by the winds of bias. In the face of media bias, we are not powerless. We as consumers of media have the ability to discern fact from fiction, truth from bias. With media literacy, we are equipped to challenge narratives, to question what we're told, and to seek out the truth. And so, with a discerning eye, we can navigate media bias and ensure we're informed with the truth.